Hello everyone and welcome back to Chi, Cultivation, and Manipulation by yours truly, Adrian Bolio. And today we're going to be talking about, oh my goodness, one of my favorite passages in this book. Pineal Gland Activation and Kundalini. What do you know? If you wish to support this channel and would you like to buy the book, please like and subscribe this channel. Book is on Amazon under my name for $7 for hard copy or digital copy. If you got Kindle Unlimited, guess how much it is? $0. Alright, let's get into it. The pineal gland is the primary producer of DMT in our bodies and can do so with our leftover melatonin when the body experiences darkness and sleepiness. However, there's another dormant power a body has that relates to pineal gland activation, known as colostrum oil, and exists within our spine and is secreted by our brain as well. When you combine your meditation, breathing, posture, and chi detection to a full body tulpa, you can actually control the colostrum oil within yourself to raise upward along the spine as you raise your inner chi to your brain. While you're trying to activate your pineal gland in your head using the entire body exercise, colostrum oil is the hidden secret to achieving a quite measurable experience. Colostrum oil is secreted from 2 points in the brain called the colostrum, in which they sit on each side of the brain as the connecting bridges for many processes and connecting tissues, specifically back here. It is a small tissue on the neocortex of the brain and secretes a sacred oil called chrism, a clear liquid called colostrum oil. Every half month that travels down and up the spine every 30 days, resting in the hypothalamus for 2 days before moving on to the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. Besides it being a vital oil for cleansing the nervous system, colostrum oil can be manipulated to concentrate in certain areas of the body, and through heavy meditation, it can concentrate within the head. When colostrum oil is concentrated in the head, it feels like your head is pressurized and filled with a liquid, and even shaking your head will sound as like if there is water present in your skull. In order to preserve human colostrum oil, you must adhere to a diet and exercise portion of the book, taking into account an alkaline diet, semi-regular exercise, and abstaining from sex. Colostrum oil is what helps create new cells, new blood, essentially new life, and as long as you preserve it well, it can continuously regenerate and heal the mind and body, many times more powerful than if it was not preserved. Another note on the colostrum oil is when I'm talking about the head shaking and you feel like water is inside, well, specifically colostrum oil floods the pineal gland, which helps cleanse it, and it helps refractalize it. The pineal gland, like an eye, requires to see. The colostrum oil fills up that eye, therefore allowing it to see. And that's why when you're about to go into Kundalini meditation, take note of that pressured water feeling within the middle of your head. That's actually colostrum oil. To start with the pineal gland activation, you must be pretty comfortable with meditation and be able to perform a full body tulpa exercise to raise your chi from your toes all the way up to your head. A successful full body tulpa will leave you unable to sense anything outside and remote to your body, except for feeling the pressure within your head. You will have unlocked and cleared all of your chakras, and you will also be able to feel and direct the chi in your body from the beginning. The next step is commanding your chi is usually at the point in which chi is at the heart and must therefore travel upward into the head. Use reinforced tulpas to propel chi upward past the throat, which may lead you to swallow. It happens to me all the time when I meditate up. Once I get past here, if I swallow, then it shoots up, which is why you lead to swallow when chi passes to your head. Because of all the chi is concentrated in one point, your body becomes senseless and you begin to lose the literal term of self. The concentrate, of course, is in the head, pineal gland, and upwards. Now we must create a mind-to-body connection of the pineal gland. So this is important to establish that you need to be able to locate your pineal gland. Visualize the pineal gland in your head. Know that because it's located in the center point of your brain on all sides, it can be best felt through external measurements, reinforced tulpas, chi detection, and other indicators that the pineal gland gives off when it's being activated or in use. Internal measurements are usually based off your own anatomy. You can locate your pineal gland by using your fingers to poke your head just above the top of your ears, from the center of your forehead, just above the eyebrows, and behind where your skull connects to your neck. If you remember also in some of the Indian cultures, they have a little red dot put on the head. That's essentially the location of where you should be aiming for in your pineal gland. You can locate your pineal gland by using your fingers Reinforced tulpas use your visualization process to locate its point by either believing beams of light on all sides coming in as they collide into the very middle, the touching of your upper mouth with tongue to activate your gland, which is to say you flick your tongue up and touch the top of the mouth. Or even imagining the anatomy of the human brain and applying it to yourself. So if you know the eye force or the cutaway portion of the brain, you can find the gland. Chi detection will usually come from the full body tulpa exercise, but over time the connection will be made and you'll be able to activate the gland just by thinking about it. Chi detection with reinforced tulpas will ultimately locate the gland during meditation. Once you understand what methods work best for you, then it'll be easier to command and control the connection you have with your gland. The pineal gland will usually indicate when it is in use. If you're proficient in Chi detection and body awareness, you'll be able to tell by its different signs. The first sign of pineal gland activation is a very high-pitched hum that resonates from the interior of your skull. This is a very... It's in there. It's not ear damage. It's part of what the pineal gland exhibits. The second is usually frontal pressure on the forehead just above the eyes. So not only do you have pressure appear here as you're going up, the hum as well. The third is usually unnoticed without practice, but is when you start to space out, and the other two measurable signs are happening at the same time. Spacing out is usually not noticeable, and snapping out of it, maybe coming to realization, is the daydreaming aspect of the pineal. However, when unconscious and sleeping, your pineal gland is still active. So while you practice meditation and work on your body, tulpas, and body awareness, be aware when the gland is activated and when it is not. When you project chi into the gland or detect the pineal gland as its focus of your thought and intent, keep your mind open to all the available signs. As for activating the gland, there are many methods to choose from that are not only strengthening connection of your mind and body, but also offer solutions to begin opening the third eye if it has not been used as intended. Over time, you'll begin to see fractals, glimpses of color, visualization, and distortions that come from the onset of pineal gland activation. There are many other onsets of pineal change. You'll be experiencing life on a higher different vibrational frequency. Here are a few exercises that will help you locate and feel out of your pineal gland. So going over location. Once you can locate your gland either through forehead technique, the light beam technique, the tongue technique, the anatomy technique, the feelings that you have when you space out, or the hum, or whatever the case is, you can find a way to connect to that pineal gland, even at night when you're about to go to sleep. That's the first step to projecting chi into it, because once you locate it, then you project chi into it. So tapping of the head, tapping the middle of the forehead, back of the head, top of the head, tapping these locations resonates a sound through your skull that helps rattle the gland itself. Tap each area 20 times and repeat 5 times a day for at least 2 weeks. Other stimuli include vibration on the forehead, soft rubbing, or even head massage. Sun gazing, the other natural way of opening the pineal gland, is sun gazing, keeping your eyes closed, face the sun, looking just below it. This activity is best done in the morning. Mouth, roof, tongue presses. Press your tongue against the top of your mouth in the center of your mouth, between molars and uvula. Visualize it pressing up and touching your gland at the same time. So this is starting to apply the whole visualization aspect. Rolling your eyes. Roll your eyes upward into your skull, focusing on the top of your forehead, and feel out the interior of your head. This practice puts pressure on the muscles that interact closely with the brain. While holding your eyes closed and facing upward, tilt your head upward as well and breathe quickly. This technique can be used to retrieve energy within a couple seconds after mastering a direct link to the pineal gland. I'd also recommend this in the deep meditation part when you go into Kundalini, that you apply this eye rolling back technique when you're concentrating on your pineal gland. On the go, force breathing, stop whatever you're doing, sit down and force breathe quickly. Think about activating the gland as you perform this exercise. This exercise can also be done while moving, walking, or running, but only after you know how to activate the gland on command. Best done while you're standing still or sitting. Practicing daily meditation for 10 to 20 minutes, eyes rolled upward, concentrating on the forehead. I would suggest by the time you can successfully feel and activate your gland, that you begin cataloging the following paranormal experiences along with your chi manipulation practices. While I am sure that a full body tulpa in of itself is a fascinating concept and ability, the next step in pineal gland activation is far more compelling to know what is perplex and amazing. While you work on your chi cultivation and manipulation, you can try to see how pineal activation works with your body's own energy. You will come to realize that there is a greater connection with power of using chi when you can control your solar plexus, activate your pineal gland, and combine them together to produce better results. Don't forget that the full body tulpa has the solar plexus along its journey, but it doesn't stop there. In fact, the reason why we learn to do a full body tulpa is to eventually reach the gland, to then go beyond that and to push chi energy above the head and opening the third eye. Alright, so why is that be important? Well, chi in itself is one aspect of this book. The other aspect is the believability. And the pineal gland's release of DMT and the use with colostrum oil, meditation, chi, all these factors, and these are a biological mechanism that helps us change ourselves through a belief system that's inherent in all of us. And we can apply this in meditation, we can apply this to our daily lives, we can apply this to how we work, but specifically, the pineal gland must be open, and the third eye must be open in order to exact change. The change in itself of believability. So that's how you get better at chi manipulation, that's how you get better at an art form, or anything that's related, this book or not. The more you can get into this mindset that the third eye can provide you with natural DMT, you're also siphoning a better change in yourself. Then when you combine chi and DMT together, you can then heal the body, change the body, manipulate the way you think. Need I say more? Alright, so the next part is Kundalini. Darkness took me, and I stayed out of thought and time. Stars wheeled overhead, and every day was as long as a life age on the earth. As Gandalf, Lord of the Rings. If love is the answer, you're home, hold on. That's Daft Punk's Touch song, Random Access Memories. Kundalini is the process in which body raises its internal chi, colostrum oil in the spine to the head, and focus on the pineal gland to release a steady stream of DMT to our blood. Kundalini starts with meditation and continues along after the full body tulpa experience has been completed. As discussed in the full body exercise, you must be able to raise the energy from your spine into your head. Colostrum oil is the part of the process because it's part of the body's natural way of healing, and when introduced to the pineal gland, awakens a profound understanding. Well, specifically, it allows the third eye to see. Healing intellect, tools, and knowledge, euphoria, happiness, and bliss, and much more are unlocked in an authentic Kundalini experience. So let me say that again. Healing, intellect, tools, knowledge, euphoria, happiness, bliss, and I should say undescribable bliss, are more than unlocked in an authentic Kundalini experience. Within the next few days, following Kundalini, your body will be a better condition and more energetic. As long as you can preserve the colostrum oil in your spine and keep your body free of impurities, you can have powerful Kundalini trances and out-of-body experiences. The concept of Kundalini is simple, yet unbelievably profound. During restful sleep, DMT is naturally released from the pineal gland, while the human body is unconscious and dreams take place, as well as healing and refreshing the body at the same time. We can pull natural DMT through the pineal gland activation both in action and inaction, or as in moving in exercise or in meditation. Kundalini is a process in which the pineal gland is open to the extent of conditions of comfort, focus, and will to release a constant flow of natural DMT. Within Kundalini, sense of body is lost, sense of being is lost, and the body experiences profound emotional well-being, vitality, pleasure, and gratification of existence. At the very least, the emotional surge and energy released from the pineal gland can be described as being sucked through a wormhole, feeling electricity trickle down your forehead, or the immense overwhelming happiness. I'll reiterate just a few couple sentences. When you get to the point where you can project upwards and pass, the whole Kundalini aspect takes over, and you're filled with happiness and bliss, and you start to perceive knowledge. You can start to think about certain things within this trance as you keep the breathing and focus, and you can start to come up with very interesting ideas and thought forms that you normally wouldn't understand or think about. You're also creating what it says right here, an energy surge that feels like going through a wormhole. This is the onset of it. Once you have the pressure in your head and the feeling and the sound, and you've concentrated all this self, and self is lost, then the pressure will start to build, and and that's when the wormhole starts to feel. Once you get into the wormhole feel, you have to hold on, concentrate, and keep breathing and focusing and all that kind of stuff. And that's the scariest part about Kundalini, is going through the wormhole. However, words and language cannot describe the actual experiences, because the experiences surpasses language. Kundalini will take a long time to practice because it walks a fine line of being ready to perceive energy, the energy surge. Practice with staying awake in a manner close to sleeping, and letting go of the mere idea of existence, ego, and self. Part of what makes Kundalini hard to achieve and rarely experienced by few on a regular basis is that conditions in which you practice it must be carried out with the utmost focus. Chakras must be aligned or open. Claustrum oil needs to be present in the spine. It must be preserved before Kundalini is attempted, and the mindset being ready to accept driving into the unknown. Kundalini is empowering because it will force you to take chance and explore unknown waters. You are able to be a fool, to dive into the situation, or willing to accept the outcome of your actions. So at the beginning, when I was diving into this, it felt more like a fool, and as I kept doing it, the more I feel like I was willing to accept and surrender. And closer as time going on, I still get a little scared going into it. Kundalini is empowering because it will force you to take a chance and to explore unknown waters. You're either to be a fool, right, to dive in, or to accept the actions. In doing so, you also learn to calmly accept other instances in life that naturally would be scary because it's different or unknown. Tapping into Kundalini is going into the unknown and quite extraordinary. This also helps you deal with other fears as well. If you can't handle Kundalini, then you can't handle anything else. But if you can handle Kundalini, you can handle anything else. So, there's your meditation guy going whoop, uppity up up. Pineal gland and Kundalini. Pineal activation, mind to body, right? So, as described, you create the mind-body connection. Start pineal gland activation techniques on the mind. Begin and manifest intent into creating a tulpa to activate your pineal gland using your command. When ready, meditate and perform the full body tulpa exercise. Raise your chi from your toes up into your head. Don't forget to establish a breathing pattern and to be mindful where your chi is as it rises upward into your head. Once you successfully channel your chi into your head and aware of the lack of feeling or concern for the rest of the body, the focus and pressure will be within your head. Focus all intent at this point into the very center of your head and roll your eyes upwards towards the forehead and concentrate on your breathing. After a few minutes of concentrated focus and 10 techniques, you will begin to feel pressure growing within the center of your head and on your forehead. Continued focus on the pressure will begin to release natural DMT from your gland. You have made a successful impartial connection to your pineal gland in doing so. Try to activate your gland with and without meditation, in action or through different tasks. Continue to the Kundalini exercise if you wish to go through a Kundalini experience. Kundalini exercise, breaking beyond the body. By this point in your studies, if you've kept up with this book, Chi, Cultivation, and Manipulation, you should be comfortable with Chi detection, moving Chi, performing the body of a full body tulpa, meditating with breathing patterns, and pineal gland activation. The more you let go and release from your identity and feeling of self, the easier it will be to have a Kundalini experience, but you must be patient. Complete the pineal gland activation exercise. After completing the whole full body tulpa exercise, sitting comfortably and raising your chi to your pineal gland. Begin using the forced breathing pattern during your meditation. As covered in the previous chapter, you're doing a controlled breathing pattern, which is, slow inhale, slow exhale. A forced breathing pattern is 2-second inhale, 2-second exhale, nose inhale, exhale mouth. And doing so, it's kind of like you're hyperventilating, but it's not to the point where it's extreme. You're still generating blood and keeping the blood flowing very fast. Begin aware of everything you experience internally while simultaneously letting go of external senses. Keeping your focus above your neck and concentrate focus on your pineal gland. Sense for a high-pitched hum that fills the entirety of your head, a feeling of liquid swelling within your skull, or pressure on the gland. All these indications are pretenses to opening the gland, opening the third eye. Sometimes there are blimps of light, a blue or white dot may appear, or the beginnings of fractal forming also indicate the gland is releasing higher amounts of DMT. Make sure to keep your eyes rolled upward into your head. Keep up the focused breathing pattern as you encounter pressure and press on. If you hear the hum, keep focusing on that and the pineal gland. Be patient. You may have to try multiple times to break past the limitations of not being able to surrender or let go. At some point or another, there will be a breakthrough moment and you will encounter a rush, a great pull, and the feeling of floating or falling, in which you are unaware of having a body, yet everything being of you is sucked within and upward. It is in this moment in which DMT freely flows from the pineal gland, but you are fully conscious and experiencing it in its fullness. And in this step, this is where you get the wormhole feeling. The wormhole feeling or sense of falling or loss of self is you're shooting upwards. And as you concentrate on your gland, you're sitting down meditating, your body's not going anywhere, but you feel like you're flying thousands of miles an hour as you ascend upwards. And then once you break through that wormhole, then that's when you start to feel the bliss and the uncontrollable sense of awe, the raw power of Kundalini, or DMT, if you want to stay in that realm. After achieving Kundalini, managing to remain within its trance, people will undergo profound experiences that most have never come close to. On the onset of DMT produced in the bloodstream, a person's heart rate will go up significantly and the body will tense up a little bit. It may seem like adrenaline at first, and it may take a person slightly panicking. As DMT is eased into the system, the fractal sounds, blips, color, and distortions, two senses will start to take place, soon followed by pressure in the forehead and pineal gland. Once the breakthrough occurs, the first emotional surge will be very powerful and can either be quite frightening or quite joyful. However, if it is eased incorrectly with no fear attached to it, the Kundalini experience can take the imagination anywhere. The profound surge of happiness and euphoria is overwhelming and blissful. It trickles down the forehead and down the spine of your head. And so what that means is, like, once you're receiving this very powerful energy from your head, you're also feeling like it's trickling down your forehead. Your colostrum oil may be activated as well. It also pulls the person's self farther from the identity of self within a material form and becomes pure energy. Even with eyes closed, a person under these conditions can experience a bright and blinding light, as well as fractals and distorted visions. Spirits, voices, and other phenomena can occur during this experience, as well as high healing and rejuvenation. And to add to that as well, new ideas, knowledge, being able to pull information that you never knew before, to be able to ask the questions or pray to something or someone or God, in the case that you're actually going to get something back. And you may in fact get something back that you may never experience. As a word of caution, going into Kundalini and forward into tapping into the pineal gland is the connection to outside influences. And I say here, there are demons and angels, spirits and promises, as well as knowledge and power, understanding, relief, healing, and wisdom, and of the most profound, found in deep emotion and direct connection to love. You must be able to control and who and what is let in, and what you choose to give away and share. Those who practice dark magic seek to use the gland as a means to contact demonic presence and let them into the body in exchange for power. I do not advocate this, because I believe humans can train themselves to become quite powerful, so powerful that they have all the energy they need to create powerful tulpas, constructs, and connection to their inner selves. Practice the rise of Kundalini carefully by taking care of how you wish to proceed into the unknown. When you break through and pull through the wormhole, try setting parameters such as how long you want to endure it, what emotions you are searching for, or what degree do you want energy to rise to. Add protective tulpas and guards to keep outside influences out of the body, and only open yourself up to if you are prepared to stop whatever comes through. The best way to usually do it is to simply ignore or denounce the influence. Demonic influences will promise you gifts in exchange for your worship or give servitude to them. Do not give them any reason to harm you or seduce you. You may even experience a higher version of self that you can extrapolate knowledge from. So essentially what I'm saying is, this is going into the realm of occult magic, getting into what it means to be lost in trance, receiving a connection. DMT essentially is a connection to higher dimensions or lower dimensions, or whatever the case is. It's a radio antenna to your existence of your soul. So if you're going to practice anything, I suggest that you know exactly what you want to practice, what you are going into, what reason you have to be in this space. So yeah, this is probably the most profound experiences that I've had. This Kundalini. So thank you very much for reading me, Cultivation and Manipulation by yours truly, Adrian Bolio. If you wish to purchase the book, it's on Amazon. Anyway, I will see you folks next time.